one of the questions I recently received is, what's the difference between blind faith and focused determination on creating what you want in life? And so let me go down a little rabbit hole on this one for a second. If all of a sudden you're pursuing, let's say, wealth building, I'll use that one because that's a common one people want, and you say, well, I have faith that I'm somehow going to live abundantly and I'm going to live with prosperity and the universe is going to provide and I'm going to be taken care of and I will be able to have an unlimited wealth, and you have no strategy on going out and being of service to somebody to earn an income, that you spend less than you make, so you have a portion of it that is saved and invested to buy assets so you can have passive income coming in to have financial independence eventually occur, which is more clearly concise and determined and methodical outcomes. My experience is that blind faith that you're somehow going to be taken care of and it's somehow miraculously going to happen is a lot weaker than somebody who knows exactly what it takes to go and build financial independence. The first 27 years of my life, well, that wouldn't be quite accurate. From about age 18 or 19 to 27, I had sort of an idea that somehow, I was going to be financially independent. I was going to, it was all going to be taken care of, and I had faith in the universe, kind of thing. And I was reading Prosperity and Charles Fillmore's book and Edwin Gaines' book and many others. And I had these ideas that somehow it was all just going to take care of. But at the time, I was in debt. I was hardly able to save any money, and I was living literally month to month, and putting on a smile, thinking that it was abundance, and I wasn't really grounded. And then a gentleman walked in my office, a financial planner, looking for business apparently, and he started asking me questions and asked if I intended to be financially independent. I said, of course. And he said, well, then let's go through the 10 questions to find out if that's true or not. And I all of a sudden I had accountability put on me, and I had to go and answer 10 questions. And what was my total assets, current assets? What were my total liabilities? What was my total net worth at the time, which was negative? What exactly does financial independence mean, and how much do you want every month passively coming in annually? Great. How much is the interest rate you can earn on your investments? How much is the inflation rate that you're facing? And then what is the total net worth you require, earning that interest rate minus that inflation rate to give you the amount that you want every year, annually, passively? And then what's the strategy? Well, what's the shortfall between your current net worth and that net worth? And then what's the strategy? And he held me accountable and got grounded with a now real deterministic methodology. And I started to implement a strategy. And from that day forward, my fantasy and my blind faith that it's all going to take care of was thrown out the window. And now I went to a point where I actually had a methodical, strategic pathway that I followed, that I got my goal. I became financially independent because I followed a methodical pathway. So I have nothing against faith in things we don't see yet. I had faith once I put in operation that if I continued to do that, that I would end up with my outcome. But I had before that a mystical false faith that somehow the universe is going to provide. Like, why is it going to do that for me? And I think that that's something that can be misleading to people and actually keep people trapped. So I'm not a promoter of that. I'm more interested in having, if you say you want to do something, then what is your strategy on doing it? Now, I'm not against holding a vision of it, seeing it in your mind's eye, not against having an affirmation about it, saying exactly what you're going to do. But I also want to know what your action steps are. What are you going to do to make it happen? You increase the probability of that. I'm not against having visualizations, affirmations, feelings, and all those things too. But I found that when I got into a methodical action that gave me a strategic pathway to give me that result, I got there. The first 27 years of my life, I was not going to get there. For at least 18 to 27, there was no evidence of it. But from that day on, there was massive evidence, and it accumulated, and it compounded, and I used the eighth wonder of the world because of it. So I'm a firm believer in strategizing, in using our executive center. The thing that makes us different from the animals is we have a forebrain with an executive center that pursues meaning and that has strategies, mitigates risks, has foresight, vision, and it can execute plans to achieve. Elon Musk doesn't go to the Mars with a spacecraft that's reusable with blind faith. He goes there with very powerful distress strategies and reason, and goes goes through maybe trials and errors to get there, but he's got a strategy. So I find that people who do that are usually more productive than people that just kind of go with the wind and hope that somehow there's some universal thing that's going to make it all happen. I think you need to meet the universe halfway and do your part and make sure that things are on track. All I know is that I didn't become financially independent by just hoping and believing in some sort of blind faith. I did believe that I would have true faith, which is if I, although I don't see it yet, I know if I do these actions, that will emerge. And then they did. True faith leads to certainty because you get the result. False faith is basically a faith in something that has no structure, no guarantee in the outcome, and you can't prove it. So I'm a firm believer in going after something that has some sort of strategy to achieve things and take actions and be accountable to get the thing and have a methodical pathway to get there. Be surprised. You'll accomplish more, have more fulfillment, and feel more empowered because you're directing your life. You can be master of destiny or a victim of history. You can have blind faith with a victim of history, which is what's going to probably happen, or you can have true faith. And although you don't see it, you know if I follow these action steps, that will become real. So if you'd like to go and learn how to do that, come and join me at more of these little presentations and or the breakthrough experience where I can actually show you how to transform the pseudo faith into something that's deeply deterministic and something that achieves.